Well, in terms of information war, China runs its operations, Russia runs its operations.
Separately?
Nearly always separately. You can see them looking at each other sometimes in terms of disinformation about coronavirus. You can see a sort of mutual observation process between Chinese operations and Russian operations.
Can you give us examples of the way, what kind of coronavirus disinformation they have spread?
Well, the myth that it was the virus was created by America rather than natural. You can see that in both Chinese and Russian disinformation tactics. Without us being able to be clear about who said it first, there is a natural tendency, I guess, for these themes to spread and be copied and to be echoed in sort of otherwise independent propaganda mechanisms.
They have troll farms, is that right? Where, you know, the government has, I think in Estonia, in different countries, where they have set up accounts, social media accounts, and they write these articles that look reputable. And then the mainstream media then picks up those articles, and that it's all spread. Do you think that's that has played any part in the Black Lives Matter movement?
Yes, going back, you mentioned Estonia. Estonia has been a target of Russian propaganda. I mean, the way it normally works is you have people sitting at the desk in the famous troll factory in Olgino, which is a suburb of St. Petersburg. And in order to act as sock puppets or personate or impersonate, you set up a legend, a kind of fake CV. So you're pretending to be Klaus in Cologne, or an Estonian citizen, or an American citizen. And if you're online, you don't have to be physically present in those countries to claim to be a voice from those countries. As far as Black Lives Matter go, there is lots of evidence, including in the Mueller report, about how Project Lacta, the kind of information war operation that Russia conducted during the 2016 election, how that set up African American activist groups, sort of fake identities, and their opponents. And there has been some research on much more recent events when Russian trolls have tried to exacerbate all sides in kind of identity politics or interracial disputes or interregional disputes, including this summer's protests in America, yes. But that doesn't mean that these are fake or artificial. It just means that this is now a standard Russian operandi, sorry, a standard Russian modus operandi. Not just the Russians, other actors, Chinese, Iranian, or whatever. If they see a dispute, they weigh in and try and exacerbate that dispute.
Right. So they take an already brewing situation of protest and then get involved, set up fake accounts, and on each side, on opposing sides.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily on both sides, but on past occasions they have indeed done so.
Why do you think there isn't more information about how this in the media? Is it because the mainstream media is not really understanding the threat this poses?
There has been plenty of good analysis, reportage of all of these issues there is a danger. There is a kind of paradox that when you push back against junk news, when you point out how the information environment, particularly the social media information environment, is polluted by these kind of tactics, then people are further disillusioned, less believing of the media. The irony being that, of course, that is one of the aims of all of these operations, to show doubt and distrust in the media. Maybe that's a paradox you can't avoid, but it's certainly there.
And you mentioned 30 countries involved in this, right?
Yeah. The Oxford Internet Institute would be the place to go. They do regular reports on just how many states are engaged in these kind of actions. That's where the figure comes from.